Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers help reunite a Syrian family torn apart by the war. We celebrate 12 years of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's integrated delivery system to Xiulin Township. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. The outbreak of Syria's civil war has sparked a wave of refugees fleeing their country. One such individual was Tony, who fled with his 2 children to neighboring Jordan. His wife, however, fled to Germany and she obtained refugee status. Since both countries have Tzu Chi offices, volunteers on each side were able to assist this family in a joyful reunion in Germany.
Okay, blow the candle.
This cake is presented by Tzu Chi volunteers, and soon Syrian refugee Tony and his daughter and son blow out the candle. It's their final blessing before they set off on a trip made possible by Tzu Chi volunteers, who helped the family apply for a visa to Germany. Soon they'll be making this long trip to be reunited with their mother. Clutching a ticket donated by Tzu Chi Jordan branch, Tony and his children appear at this international airport.
Thank you, Master Zheng Yan. I'll soon see my mother, whom I miss very much.
After a long flight, this family of 4 is finally reunited in Germany at long last. At the Buddha Day ceremony held in Hamburg, Tony and his family were there to express their gratitude.
When I think of Tzu Chi volunteers, a smile comes to my face, and I'm overcome by a warm feeling, and I'm quite grateful. Tzu Chi volunteers have truly helped me, and there are no words to describe my gratitude.
Love and compassion reunites families from across the globe. This family will start a new chapter of their life with gratitude.
Also about caring for those in need, 19 students from the Tunku Abdul Rahman University in Malaysia visited their sister school in Taiwan. The students not only learned about Tzu Chi's humanitarian lessons, but also went to the Hualien veterans' home to actualize the spirit of giving.
99-year-old Grandpa Gao and this 20-year-old college student interact amiably and laugh to their heart's content. Though it is their first time meeting, there are no feelings of unfamiliarity between the two of them.
I have always wanted to visit an old folks' home, but I never had the chance to do so. He smiled at me when I came in, and coincidentally, I was arranged to chat with him. It feels like we were meant to meet one another. By volunteering, I am able to learn things that I would never be able to get in my own life.
The 19 teachers and students from the Tunku Abdul Rahman University performed a song for the veterans. While performing, students were reminded of their own grandparents.
Initially, I did not know how to make conversation, but gradually I realized that it simply comes naturally. As I'm always busy studying, I'm rarely home. In the future, I would like to see my grandfather more often.
Taking advantage of the good weather, the students brought the elderly outdoors to bask in the sun. Even though the time spent together was short, it was unforgettable for the group of students.
Staying with news about Malaysia, back in 2013, Tzu Chi volunteers from Malaysia made a vow at a Tzu Chi Global Board meeting stating they would recruit 1 million donating members. In today's Tzu Chi 50th anniversary special report, we'll look at how this campaign was an example of one seed giving rise to innumerable seeds, as mentioned in the Sutra of Innumerable Meetings.
In Malaysia, this 7-year-old boy began the campaign of looking for 12 good people. This activity has since inspired a lot of people. Most people might consider themselves good people. However, to recruit people who are willing to do good deeds in Malaysia, one has to overcome barriers built up by differences in religious beliefs.
They say that they were born to be Muslims. If we try to convert people in Malaysia, we could be arrested according to the laws here.
In Malaysia, a dominantly Muslim country, Tzu Chi, a Buddhist organization, faces many challenges in recruiting members.
Tak takut ke? Tak ada apa-apa. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. See? They refuse really nyaman.
Rajeswari Raman, a Hindu Indian, has joined the rank of Tzu Chi volunteers. She faces challenges every day as she tries to recruit donating members for Tzu Chi.
Uncle, apa khabar?
Abang
Baik ya?
baik.
Boleh diminta derma sikit ya?
Terima.
Ah.
Saya pun kerja dengan orang pun susah dengan orang.
RM1 pun okey mah? Okay, one rejection. In the beginning, it's very difficult because the people do not know me. So it's like took time. It's not like just happened 1 day or 2 days. I'm staying in this area for almost about 6 years. I have to master myself. I have to get to know what the Tzu Chi activities is going around. So I participated in most of the activity. So then I tried to bring few people from the temple to follow me. So they watch on their own. See, now they know what Tzu Chi is doing.
Currently, Rajeswari has recruited 100 donating members for Tzu Chi. Back in June of 2013, nearly 400 volunteers from Malaysia returned to Taiwan and vow at a global board meeting to recruit 1 million donating members for Tzu Chi. In 1 year, in 2014, they have recruited more than 1 million donating members, and the number is still rising.
已经100万快到了哦，那100万满了，还有第2个100万。
1年当中跟全马在它合起来，果真达到100万。
With our joint efforts throughout Malaysia, we recruited 1 million donating members. Were there difficulties during the process? I think you need to overcome challenges. When you have a goal, you won't be afraid of challenges.
The strength of love and compassion has overcome the differences in nationalities, religious beliefs, and ethnicities. The seed of love has sprouted and inspired countless people.
Our determination to help others is the same despite different religious beliefs. We need to be sincere. Humanitarian aid transcends religions. We should help others with humanitarian spirit. All religions are the same. We should not make distinctions.
One seed can give rise to innumerable seeds. Tens of thousands of people have been inspired to give of themselves. Such is the spirit of how innumerable seeds come from one seed, as mentioned in the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. In fact, this spirit is also behind Tzu Chi's 4 missions and 8 footprints.
无量易经里面不也这么说吗？无量从一生啊。 亦能生无量，只要我们心中有爱，这一份爱的种子就可以呢，扩到无边无数。
A PhD candidate in religious studies at National Zhengzhi University, Zheng Kaiwen, has been studying Master Zheng Yan's teachings on the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. He has his perspective on this idea.
Tzu Chi has actualized the idea. For instance, one seed can give rise to millions of seeds. It is like a person who made the pure aspiration to do good deeds, eventually learned Buddhist teachings and inspired more people.
If we can nurture the compassion in our heart, we can inspire countless people. Such is the Buddhist spirit of one seed giving rise to innumerable seeds. Everyone can become a living bodhisattva to guide more people onto the correct life path.
We continue our series about the plight of foreign laborers and explore issues of exploitation or abuse. According to the Ministry of Labor, some 68% of foreign caregivers have to work year-round with no days off. Even worse, many foreign workers face verbal and physical abuse as well as sexual harassment and discrimination in their workplace. Here's more in our report.
My employer would improperly touch me and secretly hug me when I was washing the dishes. He would sometimes grab me from behind.
35-year-old foreign caregiver Lily works in Taiwan and is employed by a 45-year-old divorced male. Her original assignment was to look after an elderly lady who had trouble walking on her own. but the nature of her work quickly changed.
It was difficult to listen to my employer speak because he used a very flirtatious tone.
Workplace sexual harassment is very hard for Lily to bear. It's something she has to endure to allow her family in Indonesia to have a better quality of life.
If my employer doesn't approve of me changing jobs, then I'm simply not able to do it. I'll be sent back home. Escaping this employer is something that is always on my mind.
One day, Lily finally made good on her desire and escaped this employer who had been sexually harassing her, leaving her legal employer's house and becoming an illegal worker.
If I get sick, there's no way to see a doctor.
My Indonesian friends in the past weren't able to speak Chinese well, so when they came to Taiwan, their boss didn't treat them very well.
About 20% of foreign workers say that they're in a sort of master and servant relationship. When it comes to eating, the boss eats first and then leaves the table, and then they are allowed to eat.
Discrimination and labor exploitation continues to be a problem. According to a 2015 Ministry of Labor survey, 68% of caregivers get no vacation the entire year, and an average of 29% just get 1.1 days of leave each month.
Some foreign caregivers have to live in the same room as the elderly men they look after. In the middle of the night, they may go to the toilet 3 times. This type of long-term care can sap their physical strength.
As long as they have a cell phone or a public phone, they can dial the 1955 hotline, which is toll-free and offers 24-hour service. The person receiving the call speaks their native language to communicate with them.
I don't trust this foreign laborer hotline. I would only seek assistance from groups, especially catering to the interests of Vietnamese workers.
Ayun, an illegal worker, was 6 months pregnant when her boyfriend disappeared. Without a family in Taiwan, she became very distraught and unstable.
Because their parents are illegal foreign laborers, their children cannot get Taiwan IDs, and they don't have the chance to gain an education.
This person holding Lily's hand is a legal worker in Taiwan. Though Lily is now illegal, he saved money for a long time to purchase a ring, and now she's his wife.
I'm ready to go back to Indonesia. My husband gave me a ring, so I won't run away.
Media reports paint a negative picture about the crime rate of foreign laborers, but actually this isn't the case at all. For every 100,000 Taiwanese citizens, 1,031 commit a crime. For the same amount of foreign laborers, just 181 people commit crimes, which is just 1/5 the crime rate.
The crime rate amongst untracked foreign laborers and legal foreign laborers is much below the crime rate of our country. The public shouldn't worry about these laborers.
Despite the color of their skin, along with differences in language and culture, the simple truth is that many of these foreign laborers are much like us. Treating them with compassion and love is the best way to make them feel more comfortable in Taiwan.
The Integrated Delivery System Mobile Medical Service, dispatched from Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, has been delivering care to Xiulin Township for the past 12 years. We'll meet Dr. Tzu Chi, who has long been working with the IDS service to help look after local residents there.
The area for the clinic is small, but it's adequate to see patients and provide modest medical treatment. Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's mobile IDS service relieves the burden of residents traveling far for medical services.
First, it solves their need for medical services. Second, the mobile service is free. We offer service nearby for locals who otherwise wouldn't be able to travel far to get treatment. This relieves the economic cost of travel.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital began offering the mobile IDS clinic services to Xiulin Township in 2005. Now, 12 years later, over 7,000 people have received treatment thanks to the effort.
The number of sick people in the area is few and far between. We end up very familiar with the people here. We are accustomed to dealing with most of their problems. The residents here kind of feel like a family now.
Although the population here is low, thanks to the efforts of the IDS service, the overall health of the community has greatly improved, and the doctors and nurses are treated like family.
The doctor is great. It's hard to find a doctor like him. Whenever there is an event in the area, it's always him. He shows great care for the elderly here. He's a great help to all of us.
After 12 years of medical service with the IDS, these remote regions have all felt the positive effects of Tzu Chi's compassion, and the love and care from these doctors and nurses will continue for a long time.
Going through breast cancer treatment is physically painful and psychologically stressful.徐燕萍, who has served as a breast surgery nurse practitioner for many years, accompanies every patient through the low points in their lives, not just with professionalism, but with warmth and passion as well.
Since elementary school, my ambition has always been to be a nurse, and I would frequently write about that in my essays. My initial impression of being a nurse was to simply give injections, distribute medicine, or take charge of registration issues. Nothing too difficult. It is only after I studied nursing that I realized that it is actually a multifaceted course of study. In the first 2 years of serving as a nurse, you might feel uncertain and think of leaving the job after a few years. However, after taking care of your patients for some time, a relationship will develop, and it is almost as if you have gained a new friend or even a family member.
There was once when I had a wound, and after going through electrotherapy and chemotherapy, the tumor, which was really large initially, turned black, looked as if it was going to fall off, and even had a vile smell. Yanping actually bent down and helped to smell my wound to discern if there was really an odor. I think it is incredible for a nurse to be able to help me to such an extent that even my own family might not do.
I remember there was a patient who would be breathless after walking just a few steps. However, his other conditions were actually fine, so our hospital bed had to be left to others who needed it more. She attended to the situation and told the patient that he could purchase a portable oxygen concentrator and where to borrow one if he wanted to. Such actions are not in a nurse's job scope. A nurse would probably only provide basic information, but Yanping would go out of her way and help the patient to search for the price, location, and everything else.
The first time I went to China to serve, coincidentally, there was also a free clinic where you could help to measure blood pressures and treat wounds. I just feel that by contributing a little, I could help many more patients that are not just in the hospital but outside, in society as well.
Of course, I give her my blessings. I hope that she will take care of her own health because, after all, having served for 10 years, our health and physical strength will be comparably weaker. Taking care of our own health is the most important thing to do. All I would like to say is that I'm confident in her work capabilities.
Tzu Chi's recycling mission began in 1990 at a time when the idea of recycling was still foreign to most Taiwanese people. Back then, Tzu Chi collected approximately 30 to 40% of the total of Taiwan's recyclables. But as time and the idea of environmental protection became more widespread, Tzu Chi's percentage has dropped to just 3.3%. Among the 3.3%, Tzu Chi mainly collects items with low resale value, such as glass and plastic bags, all in the name of purifying the planet for the next generation. In 1990, Master Zhen Yan called on Tzu Chi volunteers to begin recycling. Heeding the Master's call to action, volunteers began to spread this message to their community and school campuses across Taiwan. In the beginning, Tzu Chi volunteers were doing about 30 to 40% of Taiwan's recycling. However, in 2014, this ratio dropped to 3.3%. Recycling is deeply rooted in the minds of many citizens, with data from 2014 showing volunteers are collecting fewer recyclables with higher resale value, such as metal and cans, and collecting heavier, lower-value recyclables, such as glass and clothing. Su Yuyun from Tainan is an expert glass collector. She goes out at 3 in the morning to collect it.
I've taken on this responsibility. It's a calling now. I'm at the helm of this dormant ship.
However, over 60% of the items Tzu Chi collects are plastic bags, which are hard to categorize and bulky. The program to recycle plastics began 10 years ago. One of the first individuals involved was Kaohsiung's Chen Qingyun.
Taiwanese use 50 million plastic bags a day.
There are at least 6 types of plastic categories, and the selling price for 1 kilogram is about 3 to 10 NT dollars. In order to increase loading capacity, volunteers even use a compressor to shrink the plastic volume.
By compacting the volume, a truck can hold between 1 to 2 tons.
Though plastic recycling is not cost-effective, volunteers still continue to purify the planet, 1 plastic bag at a time. When Tzu Chi began promoting its environmental mission, the organization also established many recycling centers across the island. Now there are over 8,000 recycling stations, as well as 86,000 recycling volunteers. Some of these volunteers never take days off and are there in rain or shine, showing their incredible dedication to protecting planet Earth.
With energy in her step and a welcoming smile, this is Ke Yue. You can find her at the recycling station every morning, and she's been here every day for the past 27 years.
The earth is being polluted, so recycling is a way to save a few trees. We've got to ensure our water and our soil are protected as a way to mitigate possible disasters.
Wearing a brace for her back as she comes to work, this is Huang Huamei, who is also here every day. She spends hours a day making sure the plastic bottles have been properly sorted.
If these bottles are burned, they'll produce smoke that is poisonous to the atmosphere. That's not good for people's health. It's not good for the respiratory system.
At the Yumin Recycling Center in Banqiao, over 80% of the volunteers have graying hair. Even the volunteer with the least experience has been here for over 3 years.
Doing recycling will help improve different aspects of the environment. Some of this stuff can be reused, and it's really beneficial to reuse as much as possible.
The volunteers at the recycling stations are like a family, and Tzu Chi volunteers are always concerned about their health.
I always remind her that she needs to take medicine for her high blood pressure. I tell her she can only really help with the recycling if she is healthy and is able to stick around for a long time. Tzu Chi's love and care is widely actualized in China. Though Qingdao of Shandong province is a prosperous city, there are still many citizens living on the fringes of society. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers are there to care for the less fortunate. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.